What is up, guys? Just a guy on my lunch break is back. Day number 4. Count them. You don't have to count them. I mean, you should know that's 4. I mean, you probably learned this in, pre-K. Couple things. I'm just going to give a quick update. How my night went, how my day went yesterday, that sort of thing. And then a quick update on kind of, the future of my channel. I had somebody ask me that yesterday, and it was a very, very good question. And I'm going to touch on that as well. So, taper went fine yesterday. I haven't really had a lot in the way of cravings as of yet. I think that in a lot of ways I did it all right, meaning I did everything the right way, did a slow taper. I had a friend ask me last night, hey, if you don't mind me asking, how's your bowels? This guy did a cold turkey a while back, and of course it, disturbed his bowels when he stopped. Anytime you do a cold turkey from something similar to an opiate, it's going to do that. More than likely you're going to get loose stool and, upset stomach and all that good stuff. But, with a slow taper, your body has time to adjust as you drop. So typically you don't see as many of the acutes and stuff like that. So, and it's been the same way with like the low mood and any anhedonia and stuff like that. I haven't had that much of it. I'm just being honest, but I'm also like a go-getter sort of mindset. I go to the gym every day, I work out, I eat super healthy, drink tons of fluids. I have a beautiful family that I love and cherish, and I get to go home to them every day. So really, I guess I'm one of those people when now that the Kratom itself is off my back, and I understand the addiction's still there, the triggers are still going to be there, the cravings are still going to hit me when I least expect it. I understand all that, but the Kratom itself is off my back right now, because in case you hadn't noticed, I'm not taking it right now. 4 days. I haven't really had any serious cravings or anything like that, but people kind of want to know how I'm doing, how my bowels are, and my bowels are fine, completely fine. They're perfect, in fact. I'm not constipated, but I don't have diarrhea either. Everything's had time to adjust, so all that's good. The urinary issue I was having before has all but subsided. I've had like some, a few random like transient moments where I'm like, yeah, I gotta pee, or I feel like I've gotta pee, but then I didn't have to. I've had that happen a couple of times in the past, maybe week and a half or so, but it's not nearly as acute, not nearly as aggressive of a feeling, and it's not nearly as frequent as it was a month and a half ago when I first started my taper. Another person asked me, I have to get a little bit more detailed about what this gentleman asked me, but he was basically asking, what, if you were good while you were on it, why are you really wanting to quit? Was it the money? Was it, you having health problems because of it? Was your wife getting after you because of it? This, that, and the other. That also a very fair question, and the answer to that question is none of them and all of them, all at the same time. And I don't remember all of the scenarios that he asked in his question, but he did want to know, what is it that caused you to want to get off of it? A couple of things. One thing was definitely the health problems. Being on Kratom at the high amounts like that gave me the worst health anxiety that I can ever recall having in my life. while I was on Kratom, I diagnosed myself with some fatal, incurable disease, or the C word, probably 6-7 different times. I mean, it just did. It's just something that I did. I wouldn't typically call myself like a hypochondriac sort of individual. I'm not necessarily like a warrior or a really tightly wound, anxious sort of person typically. But, you know, regular drug use, especially if something like that you know is unregulated, you know it's powder, you know it's ground up leaves that you're consuming, you know, and you start thinking about the impact of that on your digestive system, and, you know, the fact that the body is probably not made to digest at least that particular sort of tree and leaf, you know. Obviously the body does do, you know, cruciferous vegetables and stuff like that, but those things actually have nutrients in them. Kratom, not so much. There is no nutrients, you know. And you know, sidebar, I heard people talking about yesterday on the channel how it made them gain a lot of weight. Kratom made them gain a lot of weight, and then other people saying I did the opposite. For me, it made me lose weight. A lot of that has to do with you know, your diet and stuff like that. A lot of people who take really high amounts of Kratom, and it's kind of a lopsided affair that they have with Kratom, meaning they take more Kratom than they do food. They use Kratom more than they do food, right? And there's a lot of people like that. It definitely affected my diet. I didn't eat as much, especially when I was in heavy use of it. So when those people don't eat that much and they're always taking Kratom, yeah, you're probably going to lose some weight. You're not getting any nutrients, right? Then there's people who also kind of still, you know, they take the Kratom, but they also maintain their regular diet like they normally do. Well, then all that does is just slow things down, because your body has to compete with this influx of Kratom when it comes to digesting your food. So your body is definitely not as efficiently digesting and breaking down your food for the nutrients so that your body can use that, because it's having to prioritize this perceived toxin of Kratom that you keep dumping in all the time, right? So your body has to make a decision. You know, digest this. I'm not saying you eat this, but this, you know, hamburger or macaroni and cheese, or, you know, fish or pizza or whatever it is you ate. You know, let me put that to the side so that I can deal with this Kratom. You know, your body is a very sensitive entity, and its internal stasis and its internal adjustment mechanism is so finely tuned that it understands what the assignment is. The assignment is get the Kratom off board first. It doesn't like it. All right. So a lot in one here as I'm talking about it. You know, the guy asked, you know, what was the reason? It wasn't my wife. It wasn't really the money, although all of those things were on my mind, you know. Obviously, it affected my finances. You know, my wife and I make good money, so we're fortunate. You know, it wasn't causing me to not be able to pay my bills or anything like that, but it's definitely something I thought about. And there were times where I sat down and I just thought, damn, did I really just spend that much money on Kratom in a week or on a weekend? Like when I would go on some sort of, you know, weekend bender, you know, or down to that kava bar that I used to go to and have 4 or 5 Kratom drinks, and, you know, we'd run up a $60, $70, well, usually not that much, but like a $50, $60 tab of, you know, drinking Kratom drinks and stuff, you know. And that's just on a Saturday, you know. We would do stuff like that, not to mention what I was buying at home. You know, I might have had some gummies or some capsules. You know, I definitely spent several hundred a month, I'm sure. I didn't really add it up typically, but There were times where I'm sure I spent $300-400 a month on Kratom products, maybe more on some months. I'm just not sure. I never really did the math. But so the answer to your questions, my man, health anxiety did it. I was tired of being constipated. I was tired of the feeling of being slave to that substance, because every time I went to quit, it sucked really bad, and I hated that because I felt like I was not in control of it, that it controlled me. Because if I didn't have it, I felt like shit, you know, and I hate feeling that way. I'm a person who likes to be in control of myself, my life, my faculties, you know, and Kratom really affected that. And as far as my wife handles the finances. And no, we weren't going broke, but I'm not an idiot either. You know, it definitely was affecting my finances, and definitely that could be, you know, $200, $300, $400 a month, whatever it was, that we could have extra to more easily pay our bills, or to go do something fun that we wanted, or for me to buy my wife a gift that I wanted. So of course I thought about that stuff, you know, and that affected me emotionally too, made me feel weak, you know. That's for me personally, kind of how I felt about it. The last thing I'm going to discuss, and then I got to jump off here. So someone asked me, well, what's the future of the channel, my guy, you know, now that you're off Kratom? You know, I love your videos, been watching for several weeks, whatever, but what are you going to do now that you're off? That's a really good question. And the answer is nothing much different, to be honest with you. I'm going to do exactly what I'm doing now. I might go a little bit more into depth about recovery and stuff like that, but also, and, you know, short-term then long-term recovery, but I'll also always be here for the questions of people who are still on Kratom. I want to continue to help people come off of Kratom if that's what they want. If they don't want that, and they're still taking Kratom and they're watching the channel, I don't give a shit. Use it for what you want to use it for. You know, there's going to be a lot of people on here that are still taking Kratom, because I don't judge people, you know, and that's one of the main comments I get on here. It's nice for somebody to get on here, you know, giving authentic take about how, you know, Kratom has affected them and sharing their own experience with it, but not being judgmental towards other people who may not be looking to come off or just whatever. It's always your decision. It's always going to be your decision on this channel. There's going to be no judgment. But I'll continue doing the channel, continue helping people to get off of Kratom if that's what they so choose. And if they haven't decided that, then I'll be here until they do. And if they never decide that, I'll be here until they never decide it, you know. It's going to be for them to decide. I have my own personal reasons as to why I wanted to come off with Kratom. I've listed a few of them, you know, and I definitely am happy about the decision. You know, am I going through a little bit of a rough patch? Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't feel the best. Energy's a little lower than what it, you know, would be a baseline, I'm sure, but, you know, that's a small price to pay, man, for saving money, for saving your family, for saving your own mental insanity, and in some cases saving your marriage, saving your house. You know, it's a small price to pay. A few days or a week or 2 weeks or a few weeks of just kind of blah, as I spit all over my own face and the cockpit of my car. Anyway, but I do have to go, guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully that answers some of the questions. I appreciate the questions. I really do. I enjoy answering the questions. If you guys have any, ask them. I'm here to talk about it. Last night went okay. Slept pretty well again. The key is a taper, guys. If you want to be able to get through it without any really, really severe physical withdrawals, a slow taper is the way to go. I know some people are a little bit kind of like, not hoping that I would have it tougher, but I guess expecting to hear, once I jumped, expecting to hear more of what you usually hear on YouTube. Oh, man. It just fucking sucks, dude. And sleep, you know, slept maybe 2 hours last night, tossing and turning. My fucking stomach is just eating all to hell, man. I'm fucking really doing it, man. I can barely put one foot in front of the other. Oh, God. Pick up my kid, man. They weigh 20 pounds. They feel like 100 pounds. Just called into work today, man, because I just, you know, you hear a lot of that shit on YouTube. No. Fuck that. I have a family. I have to get up and go to work. I have to go kill something and drag it back to the cave so my family can eat, you know. Which is why I did it this way, because this way it's doable. It's doable. Still hurts, but it doesn't hurt to the level of if you just abruptly stop, which is why I encourage people to taper. Not everybody can taper. It takes a while. It takes a lot of consistency to taper, right? You know that. And if you're a person who can't do that and you just have to completely hop off, then it's understandable. It's understandable. And I'm here to support that as well. But anyway, I gotta go. Love you guys. Like the video, comment down below if you would. Let me know your reason why. Let me know why you want, if you want to stay off of Kratom, if you want to stay on Kratom, let me know why, kind of where you're at with that. If you're looking to come off of Kratom, let me know that as well. And subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.